Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Vays. Better turn the mics on. And what a crazy day. We already did a live stream on the Financial Summit YouTube channel. And I've just been trying to keep up with what's going on with ETFs. We've had major discussions in my Telegram group for MRI users, trying to get a handle of how much Bitcoin these ETFs actually have backing their ETFs. The numbers are all over the place. I'll bring you guys, my latest thoughts on it as we go through these charts. So let's go. All right. So what do we know so far from the TA perspective? What we know is don't F with the MRI and the Fibonacci line. I've been saying for weeks, this is likely to be a sell the news event no matter what happens. We did spike early morning. As you guys know, I exited my positions the day before and in complete anticipation of a reversal starting this week. The MRI top comes in perfectly on the Fibonacci line. We are now in a major shooting star candle. This is a very negative pattern, and all TA signs point to significant downside. Can it all reverse? Of course it can. But for now, this is very, very clearly a sell the news event. And the ETFs did not bring in as much inflow of capital as people anticipated. The allocation chart now calls for lower allocations as well. I will wait until this candle flips over. As you guys know, I exited 75% a little prematurely for different reasons. I didn't think we were going to collapse this much, but there were other fears in the market. I like to be risk averse. I didn't want to take any chances. I got out even though the chart said not to. But if next candle opens below that second moving average, that first moving average will definitely be crossing it, and it is time to take 20 to 50% off the table based on the allocation chart. Okay, let's just go through the charts real quick. Here's the daily chart. The daily chart is below the first area of support. That is a very horrible sign. You don't want to be this low. That's a disastrous candle. We have another piece of support coming up right here at $42,500. I mean, hopefully we don't get there today. Hopefully there's a little bit of a bounce. There is some hope for a bounce. Well, we had hope for a bounce. The MRI marked the low. The MRI hourly is still marking the low. You got that green diamond based on alphanumerics. By the way, everyone should be watching the Financial Summit YouTube streams in the morning with myself and Matt McGregor of alphanumerics. You definitely should join those streams to see what's going on in the market. Eventually, I will not be doing these shows on this channel. This channel could become politics discussions or whatever, food discussions or me learning Spanish, whatever it is. It's not going to be finance and trading. I just want to be a guest on a network. So the Financial Summit is launching a network. I am not I'm not going to be in charge of the Financial Summit YouTube network. So I know everyone loves to DM me. You will not be DMing me for it. I'm just going to be a guest. Like I am a guest on I was a guest on Joe Saz's channel yesterday. That's how I am going to be a guest on the Financial Summit network, and hopefully the Financial Summit network finds traders better than me to join me on that network. So please go to the Financial Summit YouTube channel and subscribe. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. It's a long way to go to get to a bigger follower base than the Tone Vays channel. And I know it will get there because the Financial Summit will not have politics discussions and be shadow banned for all this insanity. Okay. So that is one of the reasons why I'd rather be a guest on a Financial Summit network than do streams on this channel. I'm doing a stream on this channel today, but in the future, there'll be less and less streams on this channel. Okay, so go ahead and check that out. Okay, so that was the daily chart. Here's the 1 hour chart. I was really hopeful this MRI 1 hour bottom will reverse the price. It did reverse the price for a minute. We are now dropping back down. I am still hopeful that this 1 hour MRI top will reverse the price. But once again, you go back to the weekly time scale, and the weekly time scale tells you this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning of the pullback. I would not be surprised at all if this pullback goes to $36,000. Just like I've been saying this entire run up, to be real careful. Once we hit 48, Bitcoin has already fallen $5,000, and I would not be surprised at all if it falls another $5,000. Let's just go through the rest of the markets, and then we can talk about Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin is still on pace to go higher before the halving, and I believe Bitcoin will go higher before the halving. We still have about 3 months to go until we get to the halving. Therefore, there's still plenty of upside, even if we fall to 36,000. Plenty of time to turn around and get closer to 50,000 before the halving comes. Here is GBTC. I made it very clear. I got out at the very top of that little candle the day before all the ETF news broke. I do not regret this decision because a lot of people are still stuck and they never got a chance to exit. And then they're afraid to exit as a market order. They set their limit orders. They're afraid to exit, and then it falls. And then they say, I'm going to exit when it goes up, and it never goes up. And the next thing you know, in a position where they had multiple days to exit above 40, and now they can be stuck for months trying to get out above 40. This is a trap that newbie traders fall into. And let's see. I am happy how I navigated my GBTC position. You have to be aware of how you navigated your GBTC position if you had one. Still waiting for what's going to happen on January 23rd. I still got, a week and or 2 weeks to go to get there. Natural gas. I'm liking how natural gas is rising. It was so strange. Oh, what happened? I think I closed the tab. My charts are taking their sweet time updating. I don't know why. There it is. Yeah, it looks like I did close the chart. I closed the chart of natural gas. Blackstone or BlackRock, those are very different companies, T. So when you say Blackstone, do you actually mean Blackstone or do you mean BlackRock? So natural gas, we are back up. I was incredibly surprised that we went this low to begin with. It was very strange. I'm not going to say it was manipulation. It was just strange. Yeah, you did mean BlackRock. I don't think they're laughing. I think they would rather have a lot more volume, and they would rather have the price of Bitcoin go up and more interest in their ETF. That's how they make more money. They don't make money on you losing money. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of these companies make money when you make money. So they're not there to completely screw you. BlackRock would be making more money if the price of Bitcoin was skyrocketing today versus crashing today. They will make money either way. They're not on the losing side of this trade, but they will make more money if the price of Bitcoin is rising versus if it's falling. And it's the same thing with gold. A lot of people think these banks and these financial institutions are somehow suppressing the price of gold. That's not true. They make more money when gold goes up. They also make money when gold goes down, but they make more money when gold goes up. They are not incentivized to keep the price of gold down, and they are not incentivized to keep the price of Bitcoin down. Same thing with oil. They're not incentivized to keep the price of oil down. I'm once again surprised that the price of oil is this low. I think we already looked at the latest numbers. Maybe. Let's find out. Here are the latest oil numbers. Let's see. The last piece of data is the data from the 5th. I don't know if I have this data. Let's go and find out. Do I have data from the 5th? I do not have data from the 5th. Let's look at the data. The US government bought an additional 606,000 barrels of oil. The US Biden administration continues to buy oil. Once again, I find this a bit strange. I am expecting them to sell all of this oil. Yep, and there it is. That's the first print of the year. And the Biden administration is actually buying oil. I can promise you that by the time this year ends, this will be a negative number. They are sure as hell going to be selling oil into the election in order to drop the gas prices. They're trying to buy up some, and then they're going to start selling. That's my anticipation. Tone, Gonzalo Lira was killed in Ukrainian prison. I did not know that. I just watched an interview with Gonzalo Lira's dad on, what do you call it? On the Duran. Wow. This is potentially going to become a political channel. But the more politics I do, the less I get to pay attention to the, to finance. Did you dump the last 1,000 shares? No, I converted it to the BlackRock ETF. So yes, those shares are down in price. And we're going to talk about the ETFs. Like I said, I still have 75% of my account in cash on this pullback, and I'm ready to redeploy it. Yeah, it would be very, very sad if Gonzalo Lira is actually dead. He should have never been in prison. And, it's, man, I don't want to get into a politics discussion, but as you guys know, I am constantly considering surrendering the US passport. And for multiple reasons. Taxes is not even at the top of the list. And I have family members that still cling to this delusion, and they say, how can you live without a US passport? If something ever happens to you in a foreign country, only the US passport will save you. And my answer to them is, you are delusional. If something happens to me in a foreign country, the last thing the United States is going to do is give two shits about saving me out of some foreign country's jail. And anyone thinks your US passport is going to get you out of a foreign prison, you are delusional. You are 100% delusional. The United States doesn't give a shit that you have a US passport and you're in a foreign country. They only if it helps them politically. And someone like me would never help them politically. You have to be, I don't know, maybe a I don't know, maybe it's like what do you call them? Brittany Grinder, right? Yeah, the U.S. went and helped Brittany Grinder, but they don't give a shit about anybody else that's stuck in a Russian prison, right? Like they don't care. The United States doesn't care about you. That's what people need to understand. Yeah, the United States didn't care that Gonzalo Lira is an American citizen, that was rotting in a Ukrainian prison, all because he had a YouTube channel that said a few things about Ukraine that the Ukrainian government didn't like. That's literally the reason why he was in prison, being tortured in prison, and it looks like died in prison just for exercising his pretend American right of freedom of speech. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I mean, it's completely obvious to me. Yeah, I mean, look, I relocated out of the United States, and I'm waiting to see what the next election brings before I make any, lifetime decisions. I'm waiting for the election before I decide on anything. I want to see how corrupt the U.S. elections are, or how stupid the U.S. voting public is before I make a life-changing decision like surrendering the U.S. passport. Someone just bought a massive amount of Bitcoin OTC and is dumping it on the exchanges. It could be the ETF companies that pre-bought an unreasonable amount of Bitcoin, and there's not enough demand for their Bitcoin ETFs, and they are now dumping it on the exchanges. This is also very, very possible. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's go through the rest of the charts. Gold, I remain bullish on gold. I remain bullish on the S&P and NASDAQ. I keep forgetting I have the NASDAQ chart up. Look how the S&P is at the highs today, but the Bitcoin price is completely dumping. Shows you that they're not as correlated as they once were. Here is the list of all the Bitcoin ETFs. They are ordered by volume. It is very important to order them by volume because it tells me which ones are most liquid. You can see that the BlackRock ETF, that's iShares, is the most liquid. Fidelity is the second most liquid, currently trading at about 10 million shares for the day. ARK Invest is the third most liquid. I'm a little bit surprised. ARK Invest took a huge, huge nosedive. Let me see. Is it the one that's down the most? No, they're down about the same. It just looks that way on the chart. And yeah, and then the rest here is Burr. This is Valkyrie's ETF. They're all down about the same. So, okay, where do we begin? Let's talk about it here. First off, I need to put this into my spreadsheet as well. You can see how this right here is also ordered by fee. Yeah, I need to grab these fees and put them into the spreadsheet. You can see how ARK and Bitwise has a very, very cheap fee, and Fidelity has a very, very cheap fee as well, and BlackRock also has a cheap fee. Valkyrie has a 0% introductory fee, and then it goes up to 0.5%. Okay, that's a little bit high. Van Eck has a pretty cheap fee at 0.25%. Looks like they're competing on, 0.25% or 0.2%. I mean, this is 20 basis points. It's 25 basis points. It's all about the same, okay? And that doesn't really change anything. This is 30 basis points. But once you get into that 50 basis points range or 150 basis points, now it becomes a problem. The hashtags one, I think this is going to be one of the big losers here. And Galaxy is somewhere in between, but also near the bottom of the food chain. Couple of interesting tweets that have come out earlier today. Here's one of them. Someone put together this graphic of how much Bitcoin, and this is the important part, how much Bitcoin these ETFs are holding. And you can see right here that Van Eck is holding the most Bitcoin at 1,641, and BlackRock is only holding 228 Bitcoin. This is, I'm not able to verify these numbers yet. Okay, you have to go through them one by one. Research has to be done. BitMEX Research is also tweeting out some good stuff. We were talking about all of this in our Financial Summit Telegram group chat. You can only be in that group chat if you have access to the MRI. The way to get access to the MRI is products and services, MRI indicator. You do have to purchase access to the MRI. The price has been lowered to only $300. It used to be $1,000. I tend to lower it around Black Friday every year. You can wait another 10 months for it to drop to maybe $250. I don't know if that's worth the wait. So go ahead and pick that up. We have good discussions. We've been trying to debate, trying to get to the bottom of what the hell is going on with these Bitcoin ETFs. I have always been under the assumption that these companies have bought their Bitcoin over the last few months. They did not start buying it yesterday. If they started buying it yesterday, you would see the price rising, not falling. That never actually made sense to me. We can go over to BitMEX Research and take a look at their tweets. They are keeping up with the Bloomberg terminal. I don't have access to my Bloomberg terminal anymore. And what these companies are doing, whether they're purchasing Bitcoin or not. Here is the graphic that they're posting. Now, I still have a lot of questions and there's a lot of discrepancy, right? Now, here's what I found. I started doing some research on my own. Don't trust, verify. And I'm trying to look for the links in our group chat. I mean, they went absolutely nuts. I'm going to pull it up over here. This is how I wasn't able to confirm how much Bitcoin BlackRock is holding, but I was able to confirm how much Bitcoin Van Eck is holding. This is the ticker HODL. You can see that Van Eck, here's the price. At least this was the price yesterday. This is not today. Today is the 12th. I'm pretty sure of it. Yep, today is the 12th. And if you scroll down, you will see where it says shares outstanding, and then it says Bitcoin in trust right there. So this number absolutely checks out. We're looking at 1,450,000 shares outstanding, 1,641 Bitcoin, 94, we're going to round up, 0.94 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin. I put together the spreadsheet. Well, I got to give credit to Oz from my Telegram group. He first put together the spreadsheet. He just copied and pasted, I guess, the numbers from this graphic or typed them all out by hand. I put in formulas. You can use Google Finance, GBTC, and it pulls the price of GBTC. For some reason, it doesn't like the ticker for iShares. I'm assuming this is going to be updated in a day or two. I don't know. They're just being silly. But right here, Fidelity, these are sorted by volume. To me, that's important. Sort A to Z. Oh, wrong way. Sort Z to A. They're sorted by volume right here. Now, this volume is not real-time volume. I haven't updated this to be formulas yet. These are now formulas. I haven't had time. Now, here's the confirmation. I can go to the Van Eck website, and I can confirm that they have 1,641 Bitcoin. I can confirm there is 1,450,000 shares outstanding, okay? GBTC, that's around where how much I thought they had. This is a pretty known number. Do you have permission to provide the direct financial YouTube site? Do I have permission to provide the direct financial YouTube site? I'm not sure what you mean, Stefan. with that question. Pat, I agree with you, but there are certain things I can't say as a U.S. citizen that I want to say that can get me in a lot of trouble. So it's like that quote. It's like one of my favorite quotes from Game of Thrones. I know I'm getting off topic again. One of my favorite quotes from Game of Thrones, where what's his name? Tyrion, who's actually woke as fuck, which bothers me. But where Tyrion is telling one of the other guys, what's the character that the eunuch, uh, and he's like, you should stop talking. You're discussing you're describing treason, and then he looks at him and says, "Tell me you aren't thinking it." And Tyrion looks at him and says, thinking it isn't treason, only talking about it is treason, right? So me thinking certain things is not a violation of US laws, but me saying certain things is a complete violation of US laws, even under their pretend amendment of freedom of speech. I already see some goat joined or llama. I guess someone was able to type all this in this quickly. That is actually impressive. Uh, so I am gonna put formulas to this all the way through. This turnover number doesn't really matter to me. I'm gonna delete it. This was only on day one. The NAV right here. So uh, so there's a shares market cap. There's BTC holdings in US dollars. So this number, I already put the formula in because this is a formula for the price of Bitcoin. It is live updating. You can do a lot of stuff with Excel. It is super, super useful. So any case, this number is very suspect that ARK Invest only has 225 Bitcoin. And here's why it's suspect. When you start digging into ARK Invest, when you go to their prospectus, right? Here is the Bitcoin ETF from ARK. Here's the Bitcoin ETF from ARK, and you can see all this info. You can see the fund assets under management. But then when you scroll down and you start digging into more info on their website, sorry, they have, see here, look, Bitcoin, they have 225 shares. So fund holdings right here, 225 shares. So that actually matches this number right here, 225, but they're calling it shares. They're calling it 225 shares of Bitcoin. But when you dig in deeper, you get to this document where ARBK, same ticker, and right here, they're saying they have 1,625 shares of Bitcoin for a net market value of 75. So I'm not sure what this means, right? So this is as of today, the 12th. So did they buy more Bitcoin today? And if they did, why didn't the price of Bitcoin rise if these things start rising? Yeah, look, I like Mark Faber, but he's been very wrong on the markets for a long time. If my friends know it's me, everyone knows it's me. The only way to stay anonymous is if not even your closest relative knows it's you. The moment anybody else knows it's you, everybody knows it's you, especially the government. No, no, no. It's not a ploy to screw it up. Remember what I said in the beginning of the show. BlackRock will make more money if the price of Bitcoin rises, not if the price of Bitcoin falls. They are not incentivized to crash the price of Bitcoin at all. Can you talk about why Grayscale, they are paying Chain Link at $80? I have no idea. Guys, Grayscale is a very evil company. They want nothing good for Bitcoin. BlackRock is a way better actor for Bitcoin than Grayscale. Grayscale has spent their entire existence of that company being a bad actor to Bitcoin. Like BlackRock could be a bad actor in the future and more evil, but at the moment, BlackRock has to do a lot of evil to Bitcoin to match Grayscale or Coinbase. These are actually very evil companies. They don't want what's in the best interest for Bitcoin. They want what's in the best interest for shitcoins. They hate Bitcoin. They wish it never existed. And somehow they continue to profit from it. I do not give an inch to Grayscale and their good intentions. They've always been bad. I already talked about my pullback targets, guys. You're joining late. You got to start from the beginning and catch up on 2x. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is as volume enters these ETFs, that investment has to come from somewhere. I cashed out of GBTC to enter IBIT. Okay. Now, Fidelity is another good option. I like Fidelity as a company. Fidelity has been a good actor for Bitcoin. Fidelity has done more good for Bitcoin than Grayscale can even consider doing for Bitcoin. Yeah, we already mentioned Gonzalo Lira. It's very, very sad. And the United States couldn't give two shits. And they're probably happy that a US citizen died in a Ukrainian prison just because he had a YouTube channel talking about truth that other people did not like. And the United States government and the State Department are probably having a champagne toast to the fact that the Ukrainians killed Gonzalo Lira in their prison. Fidelity does mining. Fidelity does self-custody, and they're not outsourcing it to other, bad companies like Coinbase. Fidelity has done a lot of good. Fidelity has kept their mouth shut, and they continue to support Bitcoin on the back end. Oh yeah, it's FBTC. That's an interesting ticker. FBTC right there. So maybe I should switch my position from IBIT over to Fidelity. I hope Fidelity is the winner here, not BlackRock. I may be switching over to the Fidelity ETF. All right, so a lot of liquidity is coming out of the miners. Okay, as you guys know, I really like Bitfarms. Bitfarms is holding very, very nicely. Bitfarms held up as Bitcoin continues to drop all day long. Bitfarms may actually go green by the time the day is up. Yes, it's down a lot, but it was down on the gap. Most of the price of Bitcoin dropped after the open, and even in the morning, Bitcoin was rising. Sorry, Bitfarms was rising. So I actually think that Bitfarms is navigating this drop very, very nicely. Look at CleanSpark. CleanSpark is down 11%. Bitfarms is the best performing asset on this list. It's performing better than the mining ETF. It's performing way better than CleanSpark, which is my second favorite Bitcoin tradable miner. And it's performing better than MicroStrategy, which is down 9%. So liquidity is leaving these stocks and it's entering some of this Bitcoin ETFs. But remember, the Bitcoin ETFs, they're still pegged to the price of Bitcoin. So when the underlying Bitcoin price is dropping, so will these stocks. Sorry, so will the ETFs. Fidelity just had 1 million customer data breach. That's unfortunate. When will a 30% correction happen? Maybe it just started. We don't know, right? I'm going back to my weekly chart. On my weekly chart, I envisioned the potential of Bitcoin price dropping 25%, all the way down to 38,000. Actually, lower than that, 36,000. This is very, very possible and very, very reasonable. And then from here, I certainly expect us to rise. And by then, the moving average is also gonna, catch up like that. Something like that, okay? That's the moving averages. That one like that, and this one like this. This is the likely path of the moving averages, okay? And right here is the mother of all support levels. Hopefully it happens on an MRI. Maybe I should move the arrows over a smidge. Let's count. I did count. Yep, that's it right here. Bam. Okay. There's your potential MRI buy right on this candle coming up. And the moving averages can easily be sitting here by then. Like that. Like those could be the moving averages. ETFs moves 50% more up or 50% more down than spot Bitcoin price. No, that is not true at all. You can see that the price of Bitcoin today is down. Sorry. Hold on. The price of Bitcoin today. Today's price of Bitcoin is down 6.63%. Now, if you look at the spot ETFs, you can see they're all down in the 6%, 6.6. They're going to be pegged. They're not leveraged. They're going to be pegged. You can see all the ETFs are down between 6.5% and 7%. And the price of Bitcoin is down 6.6%. There's going to be some variation here, but you can see how all of these ETFs are down exactly the same amount as the price of Bitcoin is down. Is it too late to take profit now? I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't sell now. I would not sell today. Maybe tomorrow, but I wouldn't sell today because there is a good chance that we are going to rebound from this area here. It doesn't make sense to sell at 43 and then watch a bounce from 42.5. I think right here, there is a decent probability that tomorrow will reverse. I still think it's possible. The time to exit was basically early today or yesterday. If you didn't exit early today or yesterday, I would not be exiting. I'm not exiting today. I exited before this mess happened, and then I converted out of GBTC into the BlackRock ETF, but I may be converting out of that ETF into the Fidelity ETF. We'll see. But am I going to panic sell today? No. At this point, I would hold through it because it's too late. It's too late for me. I try to make better decisions earlier in a candle, not at this stage. But that's me. That doesn't mean that you have to do what I do. You need to decide for yourself if right now is the time to panic sell. I don't want to panic sell right now. Got out early this morning. Good job. Tone, tomorrow is Friday. Isn't tomorrow Saturday? I thought today was Friday. Today, Thursday or Friday? What's going on? Today's Friday, guys. Tomorrow and Monday, the stock market is closed. So these ETFs are not even going to be trading on Monday. Peruvian Highlander, man, welcome. Haven't seen you in forever. Dude, DM me. Remember us hanging out in Asia? I remember us hanging out in Asia. Look, if you have a long-term time horizon, Bitcoin just gave you a sweet discount from the all-time high, from the swing high of 49,000. Please clarify why I should buy Bitcoin ETFs rather than Bitcoin OTC at Coinbase. It's up to you. I buy Bitcoin ETFs for tax advantages. Buying Bitcoin OTC at Coinbase is a huge headache. You may have to report to the government that you own the Bitcoin. You may have to report to the government when you sell that Bitcoin. Coinbase can report you to the government that you bought OTC Bitcoin from them, and they will report you. I'd rather buy the Bitcoin ETF where I don't have to deal with these headaches, and the government can see exactly how much Bitcoin I bought and sold. If you're going to buy KYC Bitcoin, for me, the best tax advantage way for me to buy KYC Bitcoin is through a Bitcoin ETF. It's as simple as that. What's my start date for my Pi cycle progression? The Genesis block. My start date is literally the moment Satoshi mined the first block. Now it's debatable whether the start date should be when Satoshi mined the block or when Satoshi released the white paper. I am using the when Satoshi mined the first block. All right, looks like we're bouncing. Look, guys, I want to be wrong. I want us to rally to 50,000 tomorrow. And I am happy to allocate my entire 75% stash from cash in my retirement account back into Bitcoin at a lower price than I exited. I've been pretty clear when I exited. I exited right. I'm going to lower this line only to show you the price that I exited at, because I exited, I think it was here. It was at 3 p.m. It's a 1 hour chart. It was over here. This is where I exited. It was at 3 p.m. It was right here. So if I get a chance to enter all my Bitcoin back into Bitcoin exposure below than this line, and I can enter it all back in now, it was a good trade. So I'm waiting for strength. I need strength, but not on a 4-day, not on a 1 hour chart. I need strength on a daily chart. I need to see a bounce. I need to see a green star candle on the daily chart. And I'm hoping that green star candle comes earlier than these highs. So if we bounce off of this next moving average, and then we rally back above 44,000. I'm happy to buy back in at 44,000. Ethereum. People keep talking about Ethereum. I'd love to see Bitfarms go back to the new highs. Ethereum is rallying big time against Bitcoin. Uh, I don't think this is gonna last, but let's see how much they can muster. Still in a downtrend. Shit is loading. Once Bitcoin reverses, this will all change. What are the tax advantages of Bitcoin ETFs? I can easily buy it in my retirement account with my broker, and I have. Right, Ethereum made it back to its trend line on a weekly scale and on a daily scale, I'm sure. If that trend line shows up, it does. Let's see if it can close above the trend line. Hope it doesn't, but we'll see. And what was the other thing I was going to look up? Ethereum ETFs are coming. Gensler actually said it's not a security, but he believes it is in his heart. I was going to pull something up. I already forgot. All right, guys. Oh, the green diamond. That's what people were asking, the alphanumerics. So there's a green diamond right here. And again, there's two different ways of how you can look at it. I'm not sure which one I like better. I kind of like the reverse. And the reverse will probably put it. Oh, the reverse didn't actually give you the green diamond yet. Interesting. What about the 4 hour? See, the 4 hour made it into the green wave. I don't see a green diamond, but I'm also set on the reverse, right? So the reverse waits for strength. I like to buy on strength. I don't like to knife catch. So I don't see a green diamond on a 4 hour yet. I do see it on the 1 hour right there. And we did go lower. So Matt, I wonder if Matt is buying in. All right. Any other questions? Moderators, you want to throw any questions in our question Telegram group chat? Yeah, guys, just Google Financial Summit. We would love to get some extra clicks. If you Google Financial Summit on YouTube, on the web, you should not have a problem finding the Financial Summit YouTube channel. You shouldn't need a link from me in the YouTube description. We would love for you to go and help us with our SEO, looking for the Financial Summit social media. It actually helps the SEO algorithm when people are searching for it and finding it. We have our uploaded videos, which is our Twitter Spaces. We did one yesterday with Joe Calasari. Hopefully, it's going to be up in a little bit. And then we have our live streams. So you have to click on live, and you will see our live streams. We've done one 3 times this week, the last 3 days. We're probably not doing it tomorrow, but and there'll be additional shows coming. And there's also shorts. Please support, please hit the thumbs up and the like button on our shorts. We really want to grow this channel, and I'm just going to be a contributor to the channel. And you can come to the Vays YouTube channel to talk, shit. And all the professional finance stuff is going to be here. All right, one final peek at Bitcoin, and then I'm going to call it a day. Once again, a sad, sad day. If Gonzalo Lira has been killed in the Ukrainian prison, he never belonged there to begin with. They should have deported him to the United States or to Chile. Neither government gave 2 shits about saving his life when he was arrested by the Ukrainian authorities. And if you're a Ukrainian and you believe in freedom, you should also be upset over this. And if you're not, then I don't know what to tell you. I am angry at the US government for doing what they did to Edward Snowden and what they did to Julian Assange. And as a Ukrainian, you should not be proud that a citizen of another country was arrested because of his YouTube opinions and then killed in your prison. That is not a good sign of an advanced society. JP Morgan stock, yeah, I'm curious. Whoa, I don't know what happened today. Earnings, that's what happened. They underperformed their earnings expectation. When did you go short? Did you go short before earnings or after earnings? Because you're probably losing money right now if you went short, other than today. This is still a very bullish chart to me. The stock is still up on the day. The stock is up 0.25%. So, but be careful on the weekly MRI. So I would not be long right now. I would. Oh, look at that. Did you see that daily MRI buy? Wow. Oh, Fabio, I completely agree. Gonzalo Lira should have gotten the hell out of Ukraine instead of going from Kiev to Kharkiv. I know he had a family there, but he had like 6 months to get out of Ukraine, and he decided to stay there. So yes, he was definitely not the smartest decision. I would have gotten the hell out of Kiev with my family. I helped people get out of Ukraine. I assisted a few people get out of Ukraine. I begged them to get the hell out of Ukraine the first week of Russian invasion into Ukraine. I helped them connect with other people in other countries. I did my best to get as many of my Ukrainian friends out of Ukraine as I could. And those that decided to stay in Ukraine, it was their decision. And I thought that was a bad decision. The move was to get out of there as soon as possible because I saw the writing on the wall. I saw how bad it was going to get for Ukraine. And I did everything I could to help get them out of there. There is a time to stay and fight for your country and what you believe in, and then there is a time to get the hell out. Just because your government wants you to fight doesn't mean that's the right decision. And the same goes for every single person in every single country. Sometimes the better move is to get the hell out when you don't agree with your government's decision to send you to fight. And sometimes the right move is to fight. It depends. In the case of Ukraine, my advice was get the hell out of there. So look at the last time JP Morgan stock hit a weekly MRI top. It was a disaster. And now you can see it happening again. It's a reversal candle. So I would not be long in the stock. Yeah, you could have gone to any country, Moldova, Poland. The majority of Ukrainians went to Russia. Gonzalo Lira could have just gone to Russia. He could have gone anywhere other than Ukraine. And he would be alive today. And he had at least 6 months to do it. And then he got stuck and he survived another year and a half. The last 6 months of which were probably not very pleasant, or the last 9 months in a Ukrainian prison. And his only crime was having a YouTube channel talking truth, basically. That not exactly legal in Ukraine, but debate about how legal it is in Russia, but it's definitely not legal in Ukraine. He wanted attention, he got it. I'm not going to debate that, right? Like, yes, he still didn't deserve to die over it, though. Like, he could have still been in prison and treated humanely. We'll see if Julian Assange survives. I mean, Julian Assange is in the UK. They've been a little, more humane than, sorry, Julian Assange is in the UK, right? They've been a little more humane than Ukrainian prisons, but probably not by much, and not for Julian Assange. I'm hearing that Julian Assange is also not in good health based on how they're treating him there. Why did they arrest Gonzalo? For his opinions. Listen to the podcast. I just heard it the other day. I'll pull it up for you. Also follow the Financial Summit. Listen to the Duran. I'm sure the Duran are going to be talking about this today. Yesterday or 2 days ago, the Duran had Gonzalo's dad on their podcast. The Duran is one of my favorite podcasts. I listen to everything they put out. Right here, I haven't heard these two yet. Obviously, they were put out today in the last 24 hours. But right here is Gonzalo Lira Sr. That's Gonzalo Lira's father, just talking about his son. And you can also watch the last video from Gonzalo Lira where he was arrested. He spent a bunch of months in prison. They let him go, and then he tried to leave Ukraine and get out. They arrested him again. And looks like he was killed in prison. It's very, very sad, very unfortunate. I'm sure Brian Beletic is going to talk about this a lot as well. He's got another very popular channel. And He did a whole video on Gonzalo Lira once he got arrested, calling for some action. But the Western governments don't care. The Western governments do not care if their citizens were arrested for having a YouTube channel. They just don't care. They have no reason to, on your behalf, get you out of that prison at all. Thanks, Midnight Caller. There's nothing to talk about Litecoin. Litecoin is going to zero. I have explained this many, many times. Yeah, JP Morgan, I'd be careful with that stock. There's nothing really interesting in Litecoin. Once Litecoin halved, it was on path for another 80% correction. Litecoin just hit all-time lows. Yes, it's rebounding. And no, it's not going to new highs. Litecoin always goes to new lows. That's what it does. That's why it was created. It was never going to be silver to Bitcoin's gold. Once my annotations show up, you will see my 80% projection, 80% down projection. It's going to fall versus the dollar as well. Every time there is a Litecoin halving, it falls 80%. It's not going to be different this time. It was halfway to its ultimate goal, and it will get there again. MSTR on the daily. I mean, people are leaving MSTR for some of the Bitcoin ETFs. Am I going to release some? Yes, I absolutely will. I'm just trying to find some time so I can watch that work in peace. I do want to release Tyler Jenks's work. Hopefully over the next month that will happen. Thanks for the reminder. I didn't even know there was a Terra Luna Classic. Guys, come on. MSTR is actually at a very nice support area right now. Looks like Bitcoin is starting to rebound a bit. Maybe we'll get lucky. The low is still on the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour MRI buy candle still marks the low. Until this low is breached, the MRI has done its job. So let's see if Bitcoin has a little bit of a rebound over the weekend. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. Please subscribe to the Financial Summit's YouTube channel. Bye, guys.